Alright, so some of you are confused with trig, so I'm making these videos to kind of go through everything before we have our test on Monday. The first thing that we learned and that you need to know for sure is how to label your sides and what the words opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse mean. Alright, so there are a few things that you need to remember before using trig. The first one is that we're only using this with right triangles. If I ask you to use trig with another triangle, your answer is always going to be like not possible, can't do, something of that sort. I'm also always going to be giving you two angles. The first one, of course, is going to be your right angle in your triangle. Otherwise, we can't use trig. And the second one, we're just going to call for right now the given angle. So when I refer to the given angle, it's another angle in the triangle that's not the right one. So the first thing we have to get out before we can actually start labeling our sides is what each side means, and it's going back to the basics. The first one we're going to talk about is the hypotenuse, and you need to remember this is across from the 90-degree angle. So you'll see the little box, you'll draw an arrow across, and that's your hypotenuse side. The second one is the opposite side, and this is across from the given angle. So again, like the hypotenuse, you're going to go to the given angle, draw your arrow across to the other side, and that's going to be your opposite side. And your third and final one is your adjacent side. This one's a little more difficult. You need to know that this is the side that makes the angle. But it's not the hypotenuse. This one's a little harder to find on its own. That's why I'm going to tell you what order to label your sides in to make it a little bit easier. So just like I have it listed here, you're always going to want to label your hypotenuse first. After you've done that, you're going to go ahead and label the opposite side. And finally, there will be only one side left, meaning it has to be your adjacent side. Alright, so the last part of this video, I've included 6 questions or examples. The first 3 I'm going to do with you, and then the last 3 are for you to practice if you choose to. So in each triangle, I have highlighted one of the angles, and we're going to call that our given angle. So before I told you the first side you should always label is your hypotenuse. So you're going to come over to the right angle, draw your arrow across. I know the side that has 40 is now my hypotenuse, so I'm going to label it with an H. The next one I told you to do was the opposite side, which is across from the given angle. My given angle is A, so I'm going to take that arrow, draw it straight across, and I know that 32 is my opposite side. So that means I have one side left. I've already used hypotenuse, opposite, so 24 has to be my adjacent side. Alright, so on this second example, I still have A, B, C. This time I have different numbers, 12, 16, and 20, but I'm still going to take the same steps. I'm going to start with my right angle and draw my arrow across. That leads me to the side that is 20, so I know for sure that is my hypotenuse. Now the next one, you go to your given angle, which in this case is C. We draw our arrow across to the other side, takes us to 12, so I know 12 is my opposite side. And last but not least, I still have one side left, and that means that 16 has to be my adjacent side. And then we have our third example where we have triangle XYZ. Remember, the letters don't matter, they will change, but the steps are still the same. I have my right angle, draw my arrow across, so that means that 37 is my hypotenuse. I go to the given angle, which in this case is highlighted. I draw my arrow from Z to the other side across from it. That tells me 35 is my opposite, and so that means my last side left over is 12, and it's my adjacent side. So I just did the top 3 examples with you. The bottom 3 are left just in case you need to practice or want to practice. If you have any questions, remember you can text me on Remind or send me questions on Google Classroom.